Hello, welcome to Tarot to a T. I hope your mid-August is going well. Today we're going to do a mid-August 2022 reading for the sign of Gemini. If this is your first time, welcome. And if you're returning, you're awesome. Thank you for your support, and I'm glad you can make it back. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it and see what the most important message Gemini needs to have for mid-August 2022. So far it seems pretty mellow. I don't have any crazy card action going on here. Could be a good sign that we just have a nice, pleasant message to get out today. Okay, there's a couple. Might be a little bit going on. Like I said, I'm not sensing any tsunamis or earthquakes. Okay, cards of advice, please. Cards of advice for the message, okay. For Gemini, mid-August 2022. Okay, one more please. Thank you. Now, let's get started. Five of Clubs. You got some changes that are about to occur or going to occur that have needed to happen for a while. Ten of Clubs. You're wrapping up a major cycle. This is actually good change and a good completion here. Might involve some travel. Two of Diamonds and Two of Diamonds. You can clearly see, right? That's the Two of Hearts and the Ace of Hearts. That's fascinating. Those two came out together. You're off on a new start, possibly in a new relationship here, or desiring a new relationship. Jack of Diamonds. Okay, you might be dealing with some money matters you're not real confident about how to handle. If I had to just take what we have here on the surface before I ask for any more cards, I would say that the new start here, I think you've already found like the new relationship, because sometimes these Two of Hearts, they actually talk about desiring to find like a partner, you know, to be close to somebody, to be attached. But you've got it with the Ace of Hearts. I think this is brand new for you. And you've completed some kind of cycle, possibly of living alone for a long time and being on your own, Gemini. And these changes, yes. You know more than anyone else that these changes need to happen, right? It's about an overhaul on basically your entire lifestyle, or just the way you've been living, like in single mode, for example, and now you've kind of got this new person in your life and you're really excited about it, I can tell. There may be some issues around money that, like I said, you're not quite sure where to go or how to handle them. Well, you know, I don't want to say how to handle, because that sounds actually bigger than it actually is. It's just kind of like, it's kind of day-to-day budgeting kind of stuff. I don't know. I don't quite know how to fit that in with this. Maybe you've moved in with this person, and so handling money matters may be a little bit of a touchy subject at the moment, just because I know when people move in together, they kind of have to work out the budgeting stuff, right? Like, who's going to buy the toilet paper? Who's going to buy the butter? Like, if one person's going to be responsible for that, are you going to have your separate expenses that you keep very separate, like in two refrigerators, two closets, you know? I don't know, I'm sensing something like that. There's a little bit of conversation around finances. So you take that how it fits your situation. If it doesn't fit, you know, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. What else can you tell me about Gemini's new living situation here? New romance. King of Diamonds, Two of Clubs. So the King of Diamonds, again, is kind of talking about finances because it's diamonds are more or less pentacles. So if you're used to the terminology used in traditional tarot, it's kind of addressing that. It is about taking control, or somebody's taking control because it's dominance. It could literally be an earth sign that you're involved with, Gemini, a Leo, not a Leo, a Taurus, Capricorn, or a Virgo. I meant to say Virgo and it came out Leo. Or it could just be you kind of like, I don't know, taking control of the money matters. Could be also the other person, honestly. The Two of Clubs here does talk about the partnership. It's still in harmony and balance, like the Two of Hearts. With this Two of Clubs, we're looking into the need for some communication. I think that goes quite well with the scenario that was being painted here about being some challenges with money or finances and how bills are being paid and how money's being brought in and how things are being divided. There's some confusion around that and how that works into the partnership. What else can you tell me, please, about Gemini's situation here? You know, it's not a real heavy reading so far, and I have a feeling it's not going to be. But money matters. They can be, they can be significant. They can start off small and get bigger. So maybe we're cutting it off at the pass before it becomes a major problem. Or maybe that's what you're doing with the King of Diamonds and taking like a very firm stance on it, or realizing you need to really talk about it and negotiate. The Four of Clubs does talk about the stability and balance in your home life, and you're very content with how things are at the moment. You certainly don't want these twos to be unbalanced, because they are balanced and they are in harmony, and this is kind of the confirmation that things are going really well. You know what I mean? In that area. Let's see what else, if anything. Really not seeing too much of like heavy energy around this. I'm just not feeling it. That's fine. Hey, we don't have to have cannon fire and hell and brimstone every time we read Seven of Clubs. Yeah, you were feeling trapped in a situation. It's also possible you're feeling trapped about this money matter. Because again, it kind of came out with the needs for communication, taking control of finances, and stability in home. It's possible you feel like you're not getting anywhere and making any progress in this area. That would be the Seven of Clubs. It's kind of internally what you're experiencing, though. Even though things are still stable, the home life looks good, the relationship still looks balanced, you're feeling stuck. Yep, you're feeling stuck. That would be a good place to look at our cards of advice. Ten of Hearts. This is very nice. This is the completion of a cycle. This is celebration, going out and spending time with family and friends, literally partying. Kind of partying your butt off. I think that's a good omen for what we just went through here, that this is actually a very good turn of events in your life. Oh, I forgot to mention with this Ten of Clubs about the travel. It could mean that your heart has traveled from a space of feeling alone and disconnected to this feeling of being connected to somebody in a real solid relationship. The Ten of Clubs doesn't always talk about physical travel. I just wanted to throw that out there because I didn't come back to that. I apologize. Whoa, nasty. I don't know, maybe this is, this Ace of Spades here, this is a tower. It's things getting, torn down to the foundation. it is also a new start card. I don't know if you've ever, like, I'm sure a lot of you have looked at the traditional tarot readings and you've seen the Tower card, and I'm sure good tarot readers explain that this isn't like, bad news. This isn't like things being torn apart and devastation and all hell breaking loose necessarily. It's just that something's been torn down, and it's having to be regenerated, rebuilt. It did come out with this King of Spades. Now, King of Spades, again, a kind of a dominant male energy. I was also going to say it could be you, because it could be an air sign. I got stuck on my words. If it's not you, I'm going to back up. I'm going to say it's you. The Tower moment coming out with a card of you, Gemini, being in control. There's something about this situation. You're having to, like, kill. I'm hearing ego death. There's some kind of thing wrapped up in this where I think you had very fixed ideas about, probably around money, honestly. Maybe your last relationship kind of jaded you and burned you a little bit, and so you have like this thing that needed to be torn down so it could be rebuilt on I'm hearing trust, because I think there's some trust issues. That's it. This king right here is actually got a lot of good sense, a lot of good experience. The thing is, the king will cause problems in relationships in some manner or form. Doesn't mean they're evil, doesn't mean they're out to get somebody and destroy them, but there's some kind of rift caused by this King of Spades. Okay, and I think the friction is coming from this King of Spades energy and needing to kind of start over. And it would make a lot of sense that this is you. You're feeling like you have to control the situation, right? And I think when we feel like we have to jump in and control, we're feeling fear. Because if we're not in charge, who is? God forbid, there's no leader in charge. Well, I have to take control because I need to control the situation because I feel very vulnerable and unstable about where it could lead to. So I think that's a very strong indication of an insecurity that you have around, and it's probably finances. Let's see more. I didn't even go any further. Ace of Clubs. Yeah, this is again a new start. Interestingly, what I was just talking about, having to rebuild trust, this is about needing to learn new information, new skills. It can be very practical in that you're like learning literally like let's say some kind of programming language for computers. I don't know where that came from, but it could be that you're learning new skills around navigating in this relationship around money and how to divide things up so that they're more balanced. I'm really picking up a Gemini where the last relationship was completely wacky and out of balance. And you didn't recognize it till it was all over. And you're trying to prevent that from happening again. I think you have a strong, strong need to regain your footing in this area. I think it just kind of got away from you in the last relationship. 10 of Diamonds, look at that. Look how sweet that is. We got both 10s on either sides of the new start. Granted, we do have a Tower moment, but this is really nice because this is a completion. Talks about the 10 of Hearts I'm pointing to, about celebrations and parties and being in love and just the heightened emotional state in a very positive way, right? And the 10 of Diamonds is about having just abundance that you can't even imagine. Like, you're just bursting at the seams. I don't know. Well, gosh, we were just talking about finances and challenges around balancing that out. I think I think once you work on this in yourself, Gemini, this is what it's saying. It's going to wrap up this intense insecurity you have around finances and being in partnership. Because you're going to reap the emotional rewards, but you're also going to reap this solid security here. And this is the card of, honestly, it's being prosperous and being wealthy. Now, it doesn't mean you're a billionaire. It doesn't matter. But if you're feeling secure about your money and you're not worried in one way about it, you're abundant, man. You don't need anything else. I mean, why be a billionaire if you're already feeling content and happy? You know what I'm saying? And I think you're learning new skills around that. I think that's what this Ace of Clubs is. And going back to this little problem thing here, I just wanted to mention I intuitively picked up about the Seven of Clubs and feeling trapped. I think this is where this energy is leading. You're feeling trapped, you're feeling like you can't get anywhere with the issue, the problem. It's going to result in kind of tearing apart this part of your ego. And if you know anything about ego, we actually have thousands of egos, they say. Pretty much any insecurity or thing that comes up, like when you start to judge people or you start to have an opinion about yourself or somebody else, or an opinion about a situation, that's a new ego forming. Okay? So we have, obviously, if you think about all the things you have opinions about in life, we have thousands of egos, right? Thousands, literally. There's not just one ego. It's all these little offshoots of the false self, and I think that's what this is about, tearing that down. And also, you could also look at that as gaining real control with the king over this part of you that maybe tends to get away from you. You know, it's like a part of you that you're not particularly fond of, but you feel like you can't control it, you can't help it. Well, I think it's about to change. I think there's some real growth gonna happen here, and it's all good. What else can you tell us about Gemini? Some advice you can give Gemini in this situation before we wrap things up. Any advice about how to get to the root of this ego or this control issue? The communication that needs to happen, something along those lines. Okay. Jack of Spades, yep. Again, we kind of have, this is the dark energy again. We have nothing dark out here except this guy and the King of Spades and the Ace of Spades. You're not quite sure how to get at this because this is the young and experienced energy, just like this Jack of Diamonds. It's a territory you've never been in. It's an experience you've never had. It's also the energy of being suspicious that somebody has ulterior motives. And I think the root of the problem here is that you have suspicions that people are going to take advantage of you. I feel it extremely strongly. That was the message there. That is the crux of the problem, is you feel like you're going to be taken advantage of in not just this relationship, but any relationship. So it's not personal. It's not against the person you're involved with. It's not something about them. It's not like something they've said or some behavior you've seen. This is an internal issue with yourself, an intrinsic internal issue where you feel like you're going to be taken advantage of, and you have to safeguard against that. That's the crux of the problem. Any more advice here for Gemini? Maybe how to, because we got to the root of it. Is there a way to, is there a card to help us understand what needs to happen? King of Hearts. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. This is taking control of the situation by using your heart. This is a loving, fatherly energy. I don't think this is a person. I think this is approach you need to take. Perhaps you could even call it a new type of ego you need to develop, and this ego is very loving, offers very loving, nurturing guidance and wisdom. Gemini, I think you need to listen to your heart and realize this fear is within you. It's not within anybody else. And I know how that is, not necessarily with this issue, but I've recently discovered some issues about myself that I know that I have to reconcile them some way, right? And I'm like, well, how the heck do I reconcile that? This is a firmly held belief I've had for most of my life, as long as I can remember. And I'm like, I'm supposed to just drop that? I'm like, heck no, I can't do that. Well, if you want to advance and get beyond this, same in my situation, I have to learn how to do it. Take control of it, nurture it, lovingly guide it back to this place of not everybody's out to get me. It's probably going to take work. I know it's going to take work, especially if this is not just, something from a previous relationship, but maybe it goes back even further than that. Maybe there have been several people where this has happened, or several circumstances where you felt like this was going on. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up there, Gemini. I think we have a very, very clear picture of you embarking on a wonderful partnership here, / relationship, / romance. And there's some issues around money, and some work needs to be done, and some communication needs to happen about expectations, and that's very fair. This isn't all about you tearing apart your insides and destroying your own ego. This is also about communicating with the other person. It's going to lead you to these awesome places in life. I think you've been wanting. You're just feeling a little bit trapped in the situation right now. Like, holy cow, this is going to sabotage the whole relationship, and it's just getting off the ground because you have a brand new start. You get to start over. Yeehaw! Starting over is good. That means you're still alive and you get another chance. At least for now, right? Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed the reading. Give me a big thumbs up if you liked the video. Go ahead and subscribe. Hit notifications if you want to know when the next video comes out. We might get around to late August bonus readings. But if that doesn't happen, be sure to tune in for September, okay? Take care until I see you again.